Hi everyone, this is Danielle from Mama Demics. As you know, I'm talking to you today about home management. And when Danny and Tiffany first asked me to cover home management, I thought they meant talking about household chores and cleaning, and that's not really my thing. But we clarified that, and they wanted me to talk about how I managed to how I schedule my day today, because as most of you know, I am a doctoral student. I teach online, I teach in person a couple times a week. I also have an Etsy shop, and I'm married, and I have an almost 3-year-old son who does not go to daycare. So my days are very full and busy, and they just wanted me to spend a little time talking about how I managed to keep that all going. And of course, every so often I get that email from readers, and my usual answer is I just do it. But I know that can seem like it's a bit condescending. At the same time, the question feels a bit condescending, or pretty much no one asked my husband that question. So why do so many people want to know how I get it done? And the feminist in me tends to be bothered by that. But I also know that there are moms out there who are very sincere and want the answer to that question. So here are my 5 tips for getting everything done. My first tip is to have a schedule. So since I've had my son, I've had a daily schedule. I should say that I've had that type of schedule before I had my son, and I try to keep that up with him. So I know that there are specific times for nap time, for breakfast, for lunch, that kind of thing, and I stick to that schedule. So those are things that don't ever really change, and that I tend to not be flexible about. I will be flexible in terms of my immediate family. You know, if my husband can't come home for lunch at that time, obviously I'm not gonna not have lunch available for him later. But I think sometimes people assume that a work-at-home mom means that your schedule needs to be flexible, or it's flexible for everyone else. So, and it's not. So my schedule is flexible just for my family. Which can seem mean, but it makes my days go much better if I tell people, no, I can't do that, because that's my scheduled work time. And I think a lot of times a work-at-home mom will be more open to changing their schedule. And the easiest way to get your friends and other people to respect that is to ask them if they can just leave their job at 10 a.m. or whatever time they want to come hang out with you or go to lunch, or can you just stop by their job at any time? And I'm sure the answer is going to be no. So the next thing I do is I set weekly goals. Every week I sit down with my planner, and you can see this here. So this is my life planner, and I change the days a little bit. So instead of the day, afternoon, night, or however they had it set up, I have mine separated into home, academia, and mompreneur. So I also usually set goals on this side that are huge, major things that kind of fall into all of the categories or so. And I just go through and write down everything I need to do that week. I don't always do it on the designated days, except for the academia things, because I have deadlines for getting grades in and stuff like that. And I try to really, really stick to that schedule. Of course, some things fall through the cracks, like my dissertation prospectus, and hopefully I will have more time for that soon. Yeah, so questions to ask yourself at the beginning of the week are, what are your household goals? What are your work goals? What are your parenting goals for that week? And then spread it out in terms of what days you're going to try to achieve those things, what specific things you're going to achieve on each day or each time of day. So there are certain things that I only do in the evenings when my husband's home, because I really need to stay focused, and my son can sometimes be a distraction when I'm trying to get things done. My third tip, and probably one of the most important ones, is to work smarter and not harder. So don't take on the entire load of anything alone. You need to delegate responsibilities to your partner, to your village. So if you have grandparents who help you out, make sure you ask them to help you out at times when you can actually get work done. And don't be afraid to accept help. I know a lot of times as moms, we think that we're supposed to be supernatural and have all the time and do every single thing. And, you know, as a mom or as a woman, we're told now that we can have it all. And yes, you can have it all, but you do not have to do it all. And I think that's really important to remember. So I try to work smarter and not harder. And the biggest thing I did this year was I decided to outsource meals. So I subscribe to Blue Apron, and we have 3 meals every week that I can count on already being planned for me, so I don't have to spend hours meal planning and then writing a grocery list and then being frustrated because we forgot to pick up something from the grocery store. I also have started ordering groceries online sometimes if it's the middle of the week and I really don't want to have to give up some writing time to go in the grocery store. I will order things online and just pay that extra delivery fee, and I consider it an investment in my sanity. So don't be afraid to outsource things. For you, it might be needing someone to help you come by and clean the house, and that is totally next on my schedule as soon as we can fit that into our budget, is to delegate and to outsource. So work smarter, not harder. My 4th thing is deliberate multitasking. So I always ask myself, what 2 goals in that day can I do at the same time? So if I need to give my son a bath and I also need to clean the bathroom at the same time, I will let him play in the tub. And so I'll wipe down the counters. I'll pull out the little scrubbing bubbles brush for the toilet and clean the toilet. And obviously, I'm not using lots of heavy fumes or anything like that because I don't want to kill my kid and, you know, or make him sick from the fumes. So don't be smart about what you decide to multitask. And then sometimes while he's taking his bath, because he likes to take a long bath, I will pull out my notebook and I'll outline the next post for Mama Demics, or I will work on lesson plans for teaching that evening, or respond to emails from students, all from a stool in the bathroom, so that I can still watch him and he can play it as long as he wants. I'm not rushing him, but also I still have time to get the things that I need to get done. So just multitasking like that. And another way I multitask is during family movie time, or we're watching a family show together. I'll also work on an order for my Etsy shop. So sometimes I'm in the office working and my husband or my son will want me to come out there, and they'll just say, well, come crochet on the couch. And at first I was like, yeah, this is my personal time. But it also made sense because they want me to spend time with them. And sometimes that just means being in the same room as them. So sitting out there crocheting while we're all watching a movie together and laughing and having fun helps me still be a part of the family experience without feeling like I'm not getting anything done in that moment. And then my 5th thing is to say no often. This is probably one of the hardest things for me to do, and I'm still learning to do this. So I've started to not accept as many Etsy orders during the month as I probably could. I'll cut down custom orders. So if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you know that sometimes I'll say, okay, I'm not accepting any more orders this month. I'll start accepting orders again, March, whatever. And I stick to that because, of course, the money is good and I love to do it. So I wanted to get it all done. But it's also kind of exhausting to have these deadlines. You know, I like to have a quick turnaround rate, and I don't want to overtire myself or overstress myself with everything else that I have to get done. So I'll say I can't do this right now. Sometimes that also means not accepting a class for about a couple weeks from the online university that I work at, because I just have so much on my plate and I don't have the time to get it done. And it's going to stress my family out because I'm tired. And if mommy's tired and mommy runs most of the house, then everyone else is going to feel the backlash of that. So say no, say no. So those are my 5 tips. And again, those are to make a schedule, set your weekly goals, work smarter, not harder, outsource your task, and be deliberate with your multitasking, and say no often. I think I said 6 actually, because outsourcing goes with work smarter, not harder. But I really want you guys to start outsourcing some of the things that we do around the house on a daily basis. If you have any follow-up questions for this, you can send me a message at mamademics@gmail.com. That's demics@gmail.com. There will also be a blog post of this session up very, very soon with printables to help you get started with managing your house. And if you didn't catch the whole, or as I like to call it, How I Get It All Done, that's a little reference to one of my new favorite shows, How to Get Away with Murder. So hopefully you caught that. And make sure you take a moment to search the hashtag MomFriends. That's MOMFERENCE, so that you can see everyone else's presentations. Due to the technical difficulties, I know we missed a few people. Also, I want to take a moment to thank our design sponsor. So thank you so much to 1953 Design Studio. We appreciate your hard work, and the logo was amazing. I hope you all will tune in again to the next Mom Friends, and bye.